Welcome to St. Louis Presents.
And it's good to see you, Debbie, but I have a confession to make.
No.
I've been following your family.
Uh-oh.
I mean, on Facebook, don't get me wrong. And I haven't seen you in a while because you went with your family on a great trip.
I did. My whole family went on a cruise, which was really wonderful.
How long did that last?
It was a week.
Out west somewhere, right?
Yeah, the Caribbean.
Yeah.
To some of the islands that weren't devastated by hurricanes.
And
So it was
not just
interesting.
your kids, I mean the whole gang.
Yeah, my whole gang, my sister and her family and my parents, and probably one of the highlights was my son did a circus show on the ship in front of a live audience.
Well, I know he's got a little Circus Harmony background in him. Did that influence this?
Absolutely. He felt very confident. In fact, today we're going to talk a little bit more about Circus Harmony, which is a wonderful organization here in St. Louis, a social circus school at City Museum.
Jessica Hentoff will be here to talk about that. And you've probably heard of the organization STL Youth Jobs. They find summer employment, not just summer, but mostly summer employment for young people, and that's after they train them. And they have an important deadline coming up, so we're going to delve into that a little more.
Yeah, very important. Summer jobs are important in a number of ways, and we'll get to all that and more coming up on this edition of St. Louis Presents. Since 2013, STL Youth Jobs has been helping area youth build work and life skills.
And not only do they train and prepare the young people, but they also partner with area employers, eventually connecting the two.
And here to tell us more about the program is Executive Director Hillary Fry. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Now, I always had a job when I was a kid, even, like in third grade, picking up garbage for my dad's friend's apartment complex.
Right.
It really does teach some very important lessons.
Right. First job opportunities for young people is, it sets you on the right trajectory for your future career. And so we do provide a lot of first-time job experience. About 50% of the youth that come to us say that this is their first job. So we have a great opportunity to provide a lot of foundation to youth that really are looking for opportunity.
And Hillary, I think there's something sort of ironic. While there are always young people looking for their first job or whatever it would be, I know there are employers that act like they can't find people to fill those jobs. So what's the disconnect here?
Sure, there's a disconnect in a variety of ways. I mean, one of the things we see as a region is we have a large skills gap. Employers are always talking about there's job opportunities, but there's not always the right people and the right fit. And a lot of the skills gap really has to do with the soft skills that we talk about, which are things that you learn in first job experiences: communication, problem solving, conflict resolution, how to work with a coworker or a supervisor.
People skills.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the things that a lot of youth that are coming to us have never had a job before or haven't had the opportunity to interact in a workplace. And so we're providing them with those skills so that they can add those to the hard skills that they're learning through education opportunities, so they can actually fill the jobs here in St. Louis that we're looking to do.
Now, it seems like years ago, when we were kids, we all had summer jobs. Lots of kids had them. It seems like fewer and fewer kids are working, and some of that I think is by choice, but also I hear from young people who would like a job that they can't find one. So are those the people who are coming to you?
Right. So we focus our program on underserved areas of the community. And so, most of the youth that are coming to us are coming from neighborhoods within the city that are high poverty and low educational attainment and high violence and crime rates. And so when you look at unemployment and you look at it within underserved communities, it really is projected highly that young people don't have employment opportunities in those areas that some other youth may. It's estimated that about 40,000 youth in the region are currently unemployed.
Wow, you know what? Too much free time used to get me in trouble a little bit when I was younger.
Right, and there's certainly a lot of positive benefit to having a summer job opportunity, especially if you wouldn't already have one. about 75% of our youths, tell us that they wouldn't have a job opportunity if it wasn't for STL Youth Jobs.
I'm just kind of curious, do you try to identify what an individual kid would be strong in and teach them that, or do they learn a whole bunch of different things, or how do you approach that?
Absolutely. So we do a pretty thorough intake with the youth that are coming to us. All of our youth are connected to a job coach throughout the course of our program. So once they apply to us and they're connected to that job coach, they're then walked through the entire summer experience with that individual, in addition to the individuals that they work with at their work sites. So in that initial intake, we're identifying what their experience is, what they're looking to get out of the summer, and then really concentrating on building in goal setting for the summer and beyond. So what do you want to get out of this experience, and what do you want that experience to inform future job opportunities or educational opportunities, things like that.
So I imagine that you're really hoping that employers step forward as well and have some jobs available. What are some of the things that the type of jobs that you might be looking to offer?
Right, so we try as hard as we can to offer job opportunities that youth want. It's not going to be a good fit if it's something that a young person doesn't want to do or doesn't have any interest in doing. And we also want to match that with opportunities in high demand fields here in St. Louis. We know that a young person that wants to work in healthcare will have a lot of opportunities down the line. They may not exactly know what a job in healthcare looks like, and so we can provide them with a paid work experience that exposes them to that environment. And we try our best to have a diversity of employers. Last summer we worked with about 230 different local businesses that ranged anything from a small nonprofit on up to a corporation.
Is it challenging sometimes finding the right job for a certain kid that's maybe excels in one small area?
Sure, and there certainly are times where it's not a good fit, and the real benefit of what we do, the importance of what we do, is that we provide them with the support to potentially make a mistake, but then to bounce back from it.
That's a good lesson to learn for young people, that it's okay to make a mistake if you learn from it.
If you've ever had a job that you've been fired from, or you've had a bad experience, I guarantee you've made some constructive choices and changes related to that. And these youth have an individual that's really helping them to dissect what was the problem and how are we going to fix it. And in some cases, redirect them to another opportunity that's a better fit for them.
Well, aside from getting a paycheck, which is always exciting when you get your first check, and learning job skills, when you mentioned helping kids in underserved communities, I think a lot of people don't think about the opportunities our kids might have just coming to work with us, or seeing what people do and making those connections. So if they're working in a company, they're networking, they're making communicating with people that could help them in the future.
Right, and there's working in a workplace is teaching you about a bigger community than the community that maybe you live in. And so a lot of young people come out of this experience saying, I understood what my community had to offer in a different way. I talked to a young man that was working at a small print shop in the Ferguson area, and I remember him saying to me, well, I went out to lunch more than I would have because I had money to do it, and I saw more business in the community than what I knew was there. And the more you make connections to community, the better citizen you're going to be.
I know that you train people up to, I think, in their early 20s for jobs. I think most of what you do focuses on summer jobs for high school students.
Correct.
And you've got a deadline coming up, though.
That's correct. Well, our application is currently open for summer opportunities. Our summer experiences generally run from June to August. Our program that operates in the summer is 8 weeks. It's about 160 hours of work for the young people. So anyone can apply as either a youth or a business that wants to partner with STL Youth Jobs through our website. Right? Until the end of April, actually. Okay. So, yes.
All right, well, I know we have plenty of information on how people can get connected with you, but how many opportunities would you say, how many kids could you take in the program?
Sure, we're currently in our fundraising mode at the moment. We're looking for more resources all the time, and we're estimating we will probably have opportunities for about 700 youth this summer.
And I want to point out too that STL Youth Jobs actually pays the salary of these young kids. So I know you're looking for, I guess, business partners to help you finance this thing, right?
That's correct. We're really getting a lot more proactive with our private sector community now, and trying to get more businesses to sign on and more contribution to the organization itself, just to help us with our sustainability as an organization.
Now's the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it sounds like a win-win all around. Get kids working and get businesses some help. And the information on the screen, if we could show that, STL Youth Jobs, it's right there, stlyouthjobs.org, and the number there as well. Whether you're a kid looking for a summer job or a business who'd like to provide some jobs, that's your link.
I think really they're changing lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get you more information about the airport and circus as well, so stay with us. We'll be right back with St. Louis Presents after this break.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. There's a major new amenity at St. Louis Lambert International Airport to help passengers recharge and relax. Wingtips, the first and only common use lounge at Lambert, is now open in Terminal 2. STL TV was there for the official grand opening. Let's take a look.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. I think we've seen tremendous growth, as you've seen in the last year in this terminal. We have just shy of about 15 million passengers coming through this airport this year. Half of those, actually a little bit more than half, are out of this terminal alone. So 7.5 million people are coming through this terminal. And we listen to them every day. We hear what it is that they like and what they don't like. And one of the things we kept hearing over and over was there was no private lounge in Terminal 2. It became one of the #1 requests that we got. So we pulled the team together and thought about it, and about a year and a half ago really got serious about trying to think about putting the RFP out and coming to fruition. So here we are, almost a year and a half later, probably after the original thought of doing this, and we couldn't be more thrilled. I mean, I think one of the things that we really try to do, and is very important to the team here, is that we satisfy the needs of our customers. And today, customers, as you heard Sally say, want a lot of things. There's a lot of different travelers. Every level of traveler wants a different experience, but this is one that is most important to the business traveler. And so we are excited to have it. When we offer the opportunity for you to come inside, the lounge is beautiful. It's exactly what we wanted at the airport. You know, we love our historic airport. To us, it's the greatest asset there is in this city. And it's got a historic feel here, and even Terminal 2 with some of the findings that you'll see. And this lounge exhibits that. It really kind of highlights the historic feel, that retro feel of the days when flying was a big deal and important. And so we're thrilled about the design. We drove engineer crazy as well every day, I think, coming in here for the past 3 months with everybody during construction, just watching it. But we know that we picked the right partner. We know that it's going to be a success, and we're just grateful to all of you for coming out today to view it and see what's happening. So with that, I think I'll invite Ingrid to come over.
Come up and let's do it, shall we? Cut the ribbon. You want to say hello and welcome?
Yes. So thank you very much for having us in St. Louis, Rhonda, and thank you very much, Sally, for the opportunity to present this vision. So welcome to the lounge. We hope you enjoy.
Here we go. Everybody together. This one.
And you know, St. Louis is the second Wingtips location in the nation, joining New York's JFK Airport. You can learn more by visiting wingtipslounge.com/STL. And now, with more news you can use, let's toss it over to Steve.
Thank you, Debbie. Well, have you filed your taxes yet? It's that time of year, as you know, and once again, United Way 211 is partnering with local tax coalitions to offer free tax preparations. The services are available to families in the greater St. Louis region who have a household income of $54,000 or less in 2017. Anyone who is eligible and interested in receiving free tax help can contact the United Way for more information by calling 211 or by visiting 211helps.org. Downtown STL Inc. is piloting a new on-demand transportation service for downtown St. Louis. The eCab will use 5-passenger electric vehicles to make getting around downtown quick and easy. The eCabs can be hailed on the street or through an app or phone number. During the pilot period, the service will be free to users, and initial testing is limited to certain downtown hotels. However, from March 1st through June 30th, it will be open to the general public. You can learn more about the service and find links to download the app at downtownstl.org/connector. The St. Louis Sports Commission is currently accepting nominations for its annual Carl Fricks Sportsman Scholarship. Nominees should be graduating high school seniors in the St. Louis area who embody the ideals and values of sportsmanship, including honesty, integrity, kindness, and compassion on the playing field. Candidates can be either athletes or individuals connected to an athletic team, such as team managers. This year, the organization will award over $17,000 in scholarship funds, with the top award winner receiving $10,000 toward higher education. The deadline to submit nominations is April the 16th. Application packets are available online at sportsmanship.org/scholarship. The St. Louis Cardinals winter warm-up recently took place. The annual event is a popular tradition among many in Cardinals Nation. And STL TV's Angela Sharp and Todd Blackstock were there to take in all of the excitement. Watch this.
The Mad Hungarian Al Raboski and President of Baseball Operations John Mozeliak were encouraged by the masses of Cardinals fans in attendance this weekend.
This is amazing. Just think about it. This weekend we're going to probably raise between like $650 to $800,000, and that'll buy you a backup catcher and maybe a pinch hitter.
No, Al, this is for charity. All these dollars go to help people and help our city. So,
you guys do make a difference when the players are out on that field and realize how hot it is and how tough it is. The energy that you provide them is really what's made a difference maker and why the Cardinals have the most successful team in the National League all time. So thank you, John.
You guys are awesome, and
Appreciate
thank you.
You can watch the entire St. Louis Cardinals 2018 Winter Warm-Up Special right here on STL TV or by visiting our YouTube page.
Well, can a circus motivate social change?
Well, the answer is yes, and there's more to that.
Joining us right now is Jessica Hentoff, the Artistic Executive Director of Circus Harmony. Thanks for being with us, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I know Steve and I are both very familiar with Circus Harmony and all it does, and it's nice to have a chance to tell our audience about some of the amazing things that you do. But first, let's answer that question, because I'm sure it's one that a lot of people have never pondered. Can circus lead to societal change?
Absolutely. The term social circus describes what we do and the sort of organization we are. And in fact, BuzzFeed called us one of 17 circuses changing the world, because right here in St. Louis we are. And we do it by building character in individuals, but also building bridges between communities.
You mentioned BuzzFeed, Jessica. Am I thinking the same thing? You were recently sort of recognized by a national organization for what you do. Is that what you're talking about?
No, we were also part of a nationwide study by the Weikart Center, which was commissioned by the American Youth Circus Organization. And now we have proof, like statistical proof, that being part of a social circus benefits children social emotional learning. It's something we always knew, but because of this study, we were one of 8 national different organizations that were part of it. We can actually show that we have an impact on a child that is as good as or higher than most other after-school activities. So that's very exciting. In other news, we also were one of only 3 social circus organizations in America that were given a grant by Cirque du Soleil for the work we do. Yeah,
And about that BuzzFeed list, out of the 17 social circus schools around the world that are changing the world, I think Circus Harmony was number 2 on the list. So a lot of high praise.
You know, a lot of people, I guess, are familiar with Circus Harmony through seeing you with Circus Floor every year, or the things that you do at City Museum, right?
Right. City Museum is our home ring, and we do over 500 shows there a year. Our elite circus performance troupe, the St. Louis Arches, perform every year with Circus Floor. We'll be back again with them this spring. But we also have classes and do shows throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area and appear all over the country. So right now we're expanding our Peace Through Pyramids program in Ferguson, in that whole neighborhood. So we have new programs starting in Delwood and Florissant. This is our 3rd year working in Ferguson. There's information on our website under our Peace Through Pyramids page.
I think one of the nicest things about Circus Harmony, and both of my kids have taken classes with Circus Harmony, and so I've seen firsthand how it changes kids. And I think a lot of kids who don't want to do sports, or they feel like, you know, they're limited, and they get to a circus class and it doesn't matter anymore.
Right, because what's fabulous about circus is it's not just one thing. It's not, you have to be fast or you're not going to be successful. In circus, there are different genres. So maybe you're not a great tumbler, but you have fabulous balance and you can ride a unicycle or walk wire, or you can juggle, or this is where being a class clown is actually a good thing. So there's really a place for everybody in all sizes. We need big, strong people on the bottom of the pyramid. We need smaller people on the top. There's really a place for everyone. And we create, it just organically happens, a very strong sense of community, because while these children are learning to flip, fly, and fling, they're learning important life skills like trust, persistence, and teamwork. You have to work together. A pyramid won't happen unless everybody works together.
I could really see what it could do for a kid. You won't believe this, Debbie, but once I was a shy little kid. Why are you laughing out loud all of a sudden?
Shy and awkward, maybe?
Anyway, well, okay, you're right. But my point is, I can see how maybe a kid like that, when they're young, and when they get their little 1 minute in the spotlight, how that would motivate them to keep on going.
It's transformative in a lot of ways. And it is for kids who need some physical activity but don't want to do a competitive sport, and kids who want to be creative and be performers. And it gives you a moment where you also create your own label. So instead of being labeled, and this is part of the social circus aspect, by what neighborhood you live in, or what school you're from, or what your parents do, or if you even have parents, you make your own label. I'm a juggler, I'm a tumbler, I'm a circus performer. And it's really a wonderful experience for the kids who are doing it, but also for the audience watching. And that's why it's so amazing to people when they come and see our kids. They think, oh, youth circus, it's light and fluffy like cotton candy, and maybe kids turning cartwheels. But our kids do real circus arts, even the level 1, the beginning level students, and we start as young as 3, but they're doing real actual circus skills, and our kids have gotten so good over the years that we are now sending them off to circus colleges, and they're being hired
There's one
by
I want to ask you
professional
about.
circuses.
A couple of years ago on the radio, you introduced me, you brought along a young man, his nickname is I-King.
Right,
And
Sydney
he had the most
I-King
fascinating
Bacon.
story. As I remember, his mother had some issues. I think she was a single parent.
No, she had actually passed away, and he
Was that what it was?
raised
But he
by
was
his
sort of like
grandmother.
lost and sort of like just standing on the street. And his affiliation with Circus Harmony really turned him around, and he's made some news recently too.
Yes, he has been hired along with his partner Melvin Diggs by Cirque du Soleil. So they're touring the country with a show called Lucia. I just went to see them in LA. They'll be in Washington, D.C.
Say that again,
next.
Cirque du Soleil, that's big time.
Cirque du Soleil, it is amazing. And they're touring the world. They actually, both these 2 young men just toured for the last 2 years with a show called Seven Fingers. But Cirque du Soleil really has this deserved reputation, and they're being treated like stars because now they are, and it started in our little ring. And what's really wonderful is I-King especially always comes back and works with the next generation. So the acts that we're working on, the shows that we're doing, he's helping the young people who are in his position now.
And that's what I think is so wonderful about Circus Harmony, because you prove every day that, you know, we tend in the news to judge somebody who does something, a young person in the news, oh, they're horrible, what a terrible kid. But you can take a child and teach them some skills and bring them into a family and a community and watch their life change. And you have done that over and over again with kids who have, you know, come from bad neighborhoods in St. Louis, and now, like you say, they're touring the world with Cirque du Soleil, and I don't know if people are really aware of how, through Circus Harmony, St. Louis has really become like a feeder city for circus colleges and professional circus around the world.
It's really true. The big one is École Nationale de Cirque, the circus school in Montreal, and we've had several children go there. But there's a new circus college in America for the first time. It's called Circadium.
I just am hearing about this. That's amazing.
It's in Philadelphia, and 4 of the freshman class are kids who have gone through our program. In fact, one of them, Chauncey Kroner, was also interviewed by you. So we have these young people who are very shy, and they learn, because they find their own inner strengths, they learn to be more open wherever they go. In fact, one young man, I don't know if you remember, Junior, he said, you know what I really learned by being in this program? I can talk to anybody, and that's an important skill.
You know what I think they learned? You might find this surprising, but I never spoke in public till I was
Right.
in my 30s. And
Exactly.
that experience of just becoming comfortable with being in front of an audience really did a lot for me. And your kids are getting it at a lot younger age than I did, so that's good.
It's fabulous. There is also, I want to say that we have a new way of raising money. We're a nonprofit. We're always raising money, fundraisers and online donations. But
Which is important, because you help with scholarship money to make sure kids can do these classes.
But you're
and
onto
you can
something
get
now
them
we
there.
can all relate to, right?
Yes, coffee.
Yes,
yes,
more.
If people know me, they know that I love circus, my children, biological and non-biological, and coffee. So Circus Harmony has its very own coffee. It's called a Defy Gravity blend, and it's Guatemalan Colombian, organic, roasted right here in St. Louis by Community Beans. We're one of the few female roasters in America.
All right.
And when you buy this coffee, it supports our Flying Children Scholarship Fund, so it gives you a lift and helps a child soar all in one cup.
And where can we get that?
You can get it online at circusharmony.org. You can get it ringside at Circus Harmony, or right next to the ring at City Museum at the Baby Elephant Cafe. Or we have it at Richmond Heights at Parker's Table.
You know, and when I ever see the St. Louis Arches or the Circus Harmony perform, I feel like I'm on caffeine anyway. It gets me going.
They're very uplifting
Yes,
to watch.
they
really are. And you can still come and take circus classes. Our spring session
She pointed
just
at me,
started.
by the way.
Well,
Old
we have
people can
classes
go.
for all ages. Our oldest student in her 90s doing trapeze. You're
Okay.
still a youngin'.
Yeah, okay.
But we do have classes for all ages, and we have a new thing called juggling and unicycling clubs, where you can just drop in on Wednesday and try out juggling or unicycling. You can do it once, you can do it over and over by yourself, with your kids.
And when Circus Harmony says drop in, they mean it.
We teach you drop in, and we teach you not to drop. It's also a great date night activity.
Yeah, and even if you think you have no skills, Circus Harmony can help you find those skills. And there's the information right there on the screen at circusharmony.org. They're located inside City Museum. And Jessica Hentoff is a woman who never stops thinking of new ways, new programs. So keep it up. And
I'm a big fan.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of St. Louis Presents.
We want to thank all of our guests, and we thank you at home for watching. I hope you join us next time, too.
All right, we'll see you next time here
Bye-bye.
on STL TV.